Hello everyone, it's Dee from Turtle Dove. How's everyone doing today? I thought I would come on and show you what I've been up to, and also I want to show you how I made my pretty embellished paper clips for journals. So I'll just show you, before I show you how to do that, I'll show you the ones that I've already made. I've been busy making a lot of things for my journaling. So I'm just prepping, and I made a whole heap of these, and I also made some little safety pin dangles that you can also pin to especially fabric pages and things like that, or on the outside of journals. And also these, so I might as well start with these ones first. These are all different sized safety pins. This one's yellow, and does it say the size at all? These I got from Spotlight. The 50 piece, it doesn't say what size they are, and they are 3 centimeters wide, or a little over an inch. So all I did was I used some of the knitling that I have, this very fine, almost tulle-like fabric. It's very fine and very fragile looking. It tears very easily too. So I mixed that with a couple of different yellow ribbons, and then just threaded it through the little eye at the end. There's two here. Where's the safety pin? See the eye at the end? I just threaded it through there and then tied a knot. Sometimes I needed a needle to thread it through, and sometimes I didn't. You just need to catch it a little bit, and then you can sort of pull the rest through. They can be quite fiddly, especially with the gold safety pins, because they're smaller. So I thought that would be cute as well. I'll make those in all sorts of colours. I've got some pins here ready to go for afterwards that I'll make some more. And these ones are the little gold ones. Also got them from Spotlight. Again, 50 pieces. And this one is, let's get one without the ribbon on it. Measure 2 centimeters wide, which is just under about 3/4 of an inch, I think, something like that. Anyway, and this one's purple, and I used the knitling on that as well. Then I made a turquoise coloured one, and this is just using the knitling, not any ribbon, because I didn't have any ribbon to match that. I'm just trying to use up what I've got. I've got so many things. And there's some pink, and I used some pink lace, just a narrow lace, with that one, just for something different. I'm out of the pink silky ribbon, actually. And this one is the yellow. So that's that. So I'll be making a whole lot more of those. I'll just show you. Now for this I used the mint green safety pins, and they're the same size as the gold. And I made some safety pin dangles, just with some beads. And they can be used the same way, probably more on the outside, or the edge of, you know, the outside of the cover, or any fabric pieces that you may have, or tags, something like that. So these were a little bit fiddly too. I don't have a lot of charms. I've got these little antique gold hearts. Where's a white piece of paper so you can see better? Oh. And they're actually connectors. I thought they were just charms. There's a hole either side of the heart. So I just put a, what do you call them, the round, oh, I can't think now. I just put the round thing at the bottom, and then added some beads on the one, and did the same on the top. And then I used a head pin for the second dangle. and just use what beads I had, just all in the golds. So I used some bugle beads, or the seed beads I think they're called. The gold ones here, the very small ones, I think are seed beads, and the bigger one, the coloured one, are the bugle beads. So I did that. This one's more the blue and the pink, which you probably can't tell. Very small and fiddly. And there's the purple and the pink, and the yellow, and the green, like a mint green. And then this is the, I think, all blue I used here, all blue bugle beads. So they're cute, and I'll just keep them aside and put them in this little plastic lock bag. And I'll keep that all in my basket full of all my journaling things I've been doing. So it's filling up slowly. Now these are what I wanted to show you how to make today, because I really loved how they turned out. Now I used the paper on the theme that I'm doing, which is sewing and knitting, and then any garden type theme. So I used an old Vogue sewing pattern and just tore paper up from that, or on some of them, a couple of them I used the pruning book, just papers from that. So I'll lay these down so you can look and move this right out the way. Everything's, I've been working and haven't cleaned up properly. So I'll show you the first lot that I made. And I also used the Inca Gold pastes too for the bottom, and I really liked how they turned out. So what I'll do is I'll just lay them down. So I made some pink, purple, green, an apricot for the first lot. So this is the apricot. So I have a whole lot of these star pendants, iridescent star pendants. And this paper clip is 2 inches wide. And these pendants come with this pretty little loop at the top there, ready for a necklace, but I'm using it for this. So I wanted to use those up, and I tore the top layer of the paper a little bit higher so that I can use the Inca paste. So I used the apricot there, and I inked the edges to distress that at the back and the front, and then used a little bit of fabric there and have these pretty little iridescent butterflies in an iridescent green to finish that off. And this piece of paper, if you can imagine this a journal page, so you would just put that on like that, and then at the edge of the book you would have this little star dangling just on the outside, which would make it look nice. So I see these all over the YouTube, different ways of making these. So I wanted to make some of my own, and this one has a little flower and some more fabric. So they're basically the same, but I just swapped them up with the colour and different laces and little embellishments. So this one's the purple. See that pearlescent on the Inca Gold? I absolutely love using this. I can see I'm going to use that a lot. And I used some iridescent lace with some purple ribbon underneath and just a little gemmy And this is the pink, again with the butterfly. Pink bottom with the Inca Gold. And then I'll put a flower on that one. And then here's the green, it's another flower, and then another green with the butterfly. So you can change them up a bit depending on the little things that you put on the top. But they stack together really well too once you've made them, which is what I like too. It's easy to store, and you can make all different things if you like, and put different laces and trims on them, and then you've got them ready to go. And you can even give some out for Happy Mail or challenges or something. So this is the second lot I've made. So I went for the pastels on this one, down the bottom with the Inca Gold. I think there's a pastel in here somewhere, but I used the Christmas green. It's the emerald green, I think it's called, on this one. And then I had some of the iridescent white lace with the green edge. And that really went well together. Look at that. You can really see the gold picking up on this one. There's a lot of gold base in this green emerald Inca Gold. And then there's that one, basically the same. With this one, it's the turquoise, and I had some of this sparkly trim blue, and I thought I'd use that and put some lace over that, and there's some little iridescent white gemmies that you can see. So there's that one. So I made 2 of each colour. That's the same. And the material it is, this blue trim, it's sort of, these are headbands, and, or hairbands I should say, and I've had these, I went through my bathroom cabinet not that long ago, a few days ago, and went through a clean up, and these are new, I never wore them because they slide right out of my hair, so I can't find this sort of stuff anywhere in craft stores. So I thought I would just undo them, and then I can use them for my crafting. So I have the peppermint green, the baby blue, yellow, a neon orange, a peach and a black. So I'm going to look out for these in the cheaper shops, and when I come across them I'm going to get some, because that's just a different way of getting them if they're not available to you. But it's the same sort of material. And this is a strip that I had in my craft drawer left. And lastly, this is the purple. I think it's called hydrangea, I'm not sure. But that's pretty too. Another lot of purple ribbon underneath the lace, and then a gemmy, and the same on the other one. And the backs look nice too. So that's it. I'm going to show you quickly how I make them. Now, as I said, I just tear from either books or like this faux pattern that I had, and I measure, is it 1, 2, 3 inches across, and then I just go down however long the book or paper is, and depending on what size you want to make these, you just cut the lengths that you need from that. This one, once you fold them over, but the full length is about almost 3 3/4 of an inch, which is about 9.5 centimetres long. But you can make them shorter. You don't have to have, or you can make them longer if you want. It's up to you. It's totally up to you. So anyway, so that's 3 inch wide, and you fold it in half. Or you can get 2 strips and then just stick them together. But it's easier just cutting them to the size and then folding them, so you don't have to line up each side. And then I just get any type of glue I use the glue stick because if I use the wet glue, if I use something like this cosmic acrylic glue, like a white glue, it just makes the paper too wet, and this dries pretty quick, so you can always, the glue stick's dry, so you can leave it sit for half hour if you want, and then you can continue. But this doesn't get too wet, not as wet as that white glue. So then you've got your strips ready, and then I measure out one around about the size I want. What did I say it was? About 9.5 centimetres. I've already torn the bottom of that one, but what I do is if I'm making a few at a time, I'll do each step and make a lot of each step, so I'm not backtracking all the time, and then you just cut them to size that way. So with that sheet of paper I got 2 out of it, and then you can keep that aside for something else or throw it out, whatever you want to do. I try not to throw things out if I can help it. There's always some use for something. So they're a little bit wet, so if I wanted to wait for half hour to continue, I will. I'll use this dry one just so that you can see the process. So just before I do that, what I do is I work out get a pin first, or a paper clip first, so I work out which way is going to be the front, so you make sure that any text on there is going to be facing you and it's the right way up. So look at the both sides, decide which way you want to go, and I'll thread the little charm on first, so that goes on the outside to your right, and then I'll thread this through. Now I want it like so. So I've got the writing that I can read, it's not upside down or anything or the wrong way round. And I'm just going to tear that front flap to give it a rough edge and make sure it's going to look nice. I'll just take that out again, and I'm going to distress that. A little dauber. Now the next lot I make, I might distress it with a different coloured ink, and rather than a tea stain, you could do a coloured, maybe a blue or pink, whatever you've got. I don't have a lot of colours in the inks. I've got enough, I've got plenty, but I'm not complaining. I've got a lot of small ones from Kaisercraft, so I'll just do the back and the front like so. And that's why it's good to wait for it to dry a little bit, because it's oh, this should be the one I'm working on. This one's the wet one. I was wondering why it was bending so easily. But that's where it's handy to have the drier ones. Okay, so that's how you do that step. Now with this one's going to be at the front like that, and then you can see a bit of the branch. So this one's nice and tough now because it's dry. Also depends on how thick your paper is too. This one's from the pruning book, but the Vogue pattern, the paper's a lot more thinner. make sure I get some plenty down at the bottom where I've torn the paper, just to give it a more rustic feel. And it just shows off the Inca Gold paste that I'll be putting on underneath a lot nicer. Okay, so that's that one done. Put that back. I'll just pop that one up there for now. And now I'm going to put some of the Inca Gold on. So it's going to sit like that. I'm going to lift this page slightly up. Instead of having it flush like that, I'll lift it up so that I can see some of the paste that I'll be putting there. So I'll do that now. And I'm going to use, I've got gold and peach. I think I'll use the peach. Look at it, I love that. And don't need to put a lot on, just that amount. Now I'm going to go and just wash this off my hands, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this Inca Gold washes off just with water. You don't even need soap. However, with the darker pigmented colours, like this emerald and the reds and the deep purples, it can stain your fingers slightly, but and it can get in the nails if you're not careful, but it does wash off. Again, with the darker pigmented colours, you will be left with a slight stain, but all these pastel colours come right off. I didn't even have to rub much. Just so that's good. I don't know about clothes. I haven't got any on my clothes yet. So anyway, that's that. Very pretty. And now I'm just going to thread that through onto the paper clip. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, make sure you've got things on the right ends and everything, the charm on your right as it's facing you, because that's going to be on the outside of the page. Now what's going on here? Something's going on. I've got to look. Alright, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust where I want it. You want some of the colour showing. So that's where I'll have it. Now I'm just going to squash at the top, close to the bottom of the paper clip. I'm going to get my little boning tool or whatever you call it and just push that towards the paper clip. Now I'm going to get some of this white glue. And I'm going to get underneath, right close to the edge, but not too close because I don't want glue going everywhere. And then just at the bottom top half of the underside. And then make sure you pull the tag over to the left as far as it will go to give that dangle some more room. And I just like to push that glue around with this tool. And that's it. And now you're ready to add some fabric or trim or lace or whatever you have. So I'm going to use some of this peachy stuff from my ensuite that I found, and headbands, or hairbands I should say. I don't know why I keep saying headbands. That's nice and stretchy. I can put that anywhere I like, put it to the bottom or the top or at an angle. You can make a smaller square of it if you wanted. I think I'm just going to put it right between the branch and the bottom text. And because it's fabric, I'm going to use some fabric glue. These would look good with hearts too. I've seen the hearts, a couple of YouTubers making them with hearts. And putting holes in and making dangles like that. So that's that. So you could leave it like that, or you could put diamantes on it, or a bit of lace. Now what lace do I have? Silly me. Didn't bring the lace down. Now I don't have any peachy lace. I'll have to get some. So I might use just some of this plain, sort of like an ivory lace. So I might just put some across like that at an angle. I'll just cut it a little bit shorter and at an angle at the other end. There we go. Let's get the fabric glue, which I'm almost out of. I go through these. It's probably one of the most things. This and hot glue and double-sided tape. I go through a lot of this sort of stuff. I tried to order 2 when I ordered this a while ago, but they only gave me 1. I think it was from Sassy Scrapper, I'm not sure. So I'm going to have to order more because I'm almost out, and I do use that a lot. I'm just going to lay that across, and that can sit and dry overnight. Once it's dry, I'll decide whether or not I want to put a little gemmy on there or just leave it like that. But basically that's all you do. So there's endless possibilities of what you can do with something like this. You can have dangles coming down underneath. This charm is probably a little bit too chunky, but that's why I've put it on the outside, so that when it's sitting on the page, it's going to, this is just going to sit nicely on the outside. It's not going to go in between any pages at all. So that is that. Easy as that. And like I said, to make it any size you want, you can make it narrower so you have more room for dangles, but then you've just got to be aware that when you close the book, you know, it's going to make a difference of the thickness of the book when you're using it. So I'm slowly getting there. I'm slowly getting to make quite a few bits and pieces for journaling. I'm going to go ahead and finish these 2 and then make some more of these pretty safety pin fabric strips or ribbon strips. I don't even know what you could call those, but they're cute. Just simple and easy. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.